Man, what a great drosh that was. Thank you, Rabbi Safa. I just sit there thinking about what you're saying, like, oh, that makes sense. He's sitting there, he's really trying to get information about his father, right? And they're all like, oh, well, we can't let the son go. It's like, is he really still alive? Is he really still alive? That was awesome. All of his Hadrash, we're very blessed to have Rabbi Safa, all of his Midrashim. They test you, they make you think about things. Vayigash. Vayigash. Um, Yehuda is approaching Joseph, the second most powerful man in Egypt. Yosef at this time has been playing a role. I think Vayigash means any approach, but um, he has been role playing. He's been LARPing as an Egyptian, if you know what that means. He's been pretending to be an Egyptian. He looks like an Egyptian. He's got an Egyptian wife. He's been acting like an Egyptian, and not just an Egyptian, but the pinnacle of an Egyptian, the model of an Egyptian. Going back to something Rabbi Safa said was very fascinating. He said that it's possible that the rulership created the reason why Egypt really disliked the Yehudim or the Hebrews was because of the rulership of the previous administration. That was insightful. That was very insightful. I don't know, but I can say that I've always wondered if the reason why Christianity developed to become so anti-Semitic was because of the intolerance that's mentioned in Galatians, or rather the perceived intolerance. Um, if you went to Japan and you walk in their house and you've got your muddy boots on, they're probably going to flip out because they like take off their shoes. And there's cultural elements that I feel like are you just got to know the culture. It's like here in Oklahoma, if somebody hands you a pocket knife, right? And when they hand it to you, they hand it to you open. You have to return the pocket knife to them the way that they handed it to you. And I never understood that. It seems dumb. So you can't close it and give it back to them. They won't take it. You've got to hand it back to them with the pocket knife open. So, anyways, so he had the power and they didn't. Um, I don't think he was just toying with them. But we have to understand that these are humans, and that's one beautiful thing about Judaism is that Judaism is humans, and humans aren't perfect. Only Hashem is perfect. Only Hashem's word are perfect. There is no perfect human. There is no human that's divine. Only Hashem is perfect. And Joseph did not know everything. Joseph was not omniscient, and he's trying to get information. Joseph wants his father to come down, but it doesn't happen cleanly. He has to negotiate with his brothers, and then he wants the youngest son, Benjamin, to come down, and it says, if he loses Benjamin, then he will die. That's the kind of love that I think we should have towards Hashem. That's the kind of love that Hashem had towards his firstborn son of Israel. Oh. That's Israel. That's the love that he has towards us. It talks about Israel being his firstborn son, who suffered, who went through trial, who have sacrificed throughout the ages. Sometimes, like with my kids, or with when I was a kid, Hashem punishes us, but sometimes when we feel punished or disciplined, we get mad at Hashem. We think we're hated. We think he doesn't like us. We think we're on Hashem's poopy list, as Abigail would say. Um, so it's my midrash. Hush. I'm just kidding. So we feel bad. We feel like Hashem doesn't like us. But when he punishes us to make us better. He punishes us because he loves us. Whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even a father, the son, in whom he delighteth. I remember my mom used to say that. Virgil John, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't punish you as much. And I was always like, could you love me a little less today? I've got some sinning to do. Anyways, so later, Yaakov comes down to Egypt. Everything shifts. Blessings flow, futures are set. And even then, Yosef tries to guide the blessing. You saw that? He was trying to guide. He was like, oh, no, no, don't bless him, And that's one of the lessons that echoes throughout history to justify martyrdom and persecution. When we think of Joseph, we need to remember the 10 martyrs. Now, I thought it was Vespasian was the emperor. If you remember, this emperor, Roman emperor, has 10 righteous Jewish men here, and he goes to the Kohen Hagadol, and he's trying to punish the Jews for this, putting Joseph in captivity. But it worked out all right for Joseph, right? And I can tell you that Joseph would not have wanted this Roman emperor when they destroyed the temple. We talk about it at the end of Yom Kippur. We read about the 10 martyrs. Joseph would have never wanted that to happen, right? He would never have wanted that to happen. Yeshua, my Yeshua HaMashiach, would not have wanted the persecution of the Yehudim, the Jews, in his name, just as Joseph would not have wanted the 10 martyrs killed in his name. Just because Hashem may be mad at us or punishing us doesn't mean he wants the Gentiles to come up and punish us too. Or that we should punish others because Hashem is mad at them, because Hashem can always restore. So Vayigash teaches us that power must bow to humility, and love may discipline, but it doesn't abandon. And redemption begins the moment we stop pretending and step forward honestly, like Judah did, Yehuda. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you so much for listening.